Go. Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to our week 13 after-school review. Already found out what we need to cover, factor market stuff. Let's begin. We'll start at number 1, and then 2, and then 4. All right, if competitive price, the wage of bricklayers is $100 per day. Okay, $100. What price? That price was determined by, well, that means for the last worker hired, if that's their marginal revenue, if that's their wage, that's their marginal cost, it must equal their marginal revenue product of labor. So,
No. It's
No.
No, it's B. D is always
demand,
the true
supply,
statement.
oh, sorry.
No, like B, like as in bubble. D is always the true statement.
It's determined by where marginal. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, it's not D. Because marginal revenue product of bricklayers always equals marginal product times price. So it's not when. That's always a truism. But it's where supply and demand.
Wait.
Supply.
So why is D wrong? Is it because sorry.
So D is wrong because the marginal revenue product of bricklayers is always marginal product price, right?
Right.
So it's not when that happens. That always happens. That's the definition of marginal revenue.
So it's not conditional. It doesn't matter.
Correct. That's just like when the sky is blue and you're like, well, yeah, but it always is. That's not when that happens.
Okay.
However, where supply and demand meet, demand in the market is all the firm's marginal revenue products of labor added together. And the supply is how many workers want to supply. So it's where the the quantity of workers hired when the marginal revenue product equals the cost of one more worker. So, yeah. So that's what I was saying, but I read that too quickly. My bad. Don't do that. Okay. Number 2, the labor demand curve. Okay. Demand for labor. In a perfectly better factor market is a horizontal sum of all firms' marginal revenue products of. Okay, marginal revenue product labor, which is the same as the value of the marginal product. The same thing. So, any questions?
Is it just like what the labor demand curve is?
Yes. What is the labor demand curve? It's all the firms' marginal revenue products of labor, except remember VMPL? Value marginal product labor, and I said the same as marginal revenue product labor. So I'm going, where's marginal revenue product labor? Oh no, it's not there. But what is there? Value marginal product labor. So. All right, ready? Number 4. Davey works blank hours when the wage rate falls only if the income substitution effect. So like 4 ants. Fine, there's a bunch. All right, let's see which one's right. He'll work less if the wage rate falls, only if the substitution effect's stronger, right? Wage rate fall. No. That's right.
Oh.
You will work fewer if the substitution effect is greater than the income effect. But this says when the income effect outweighs the substitution effect.
Oh yeah.
So that's not right. The same amount. Oh, well, that's essentially when is that backwards bending supply labor curve vertical? When the 2 income effect substitution effects are what?
Equal.
So that means it's horizontal. So the wage rate rises, you work the same.
More.
Wage rate falls, you work the same. This is a wage rate's on the
axis.
So for perfectly inelastic, the hours
it
don't
won't
change.
matter. Okay.
So same amount, same amount. So let's see if those are right. Same amount, the income effect outweighs substitution effect? No. Same amount of substitution effect equals the income effect? Yep. That just means that they're both fighting each other and it's a vertical line. Yep.
For A, is the opposite true then?
The opposite, if the substitution effect outweighs the income effect,
That's
that
when it's
A would be
fewer.
correct.
Okay, so when it's
That's
outweighed,
upward slope.
then okay. So it wouldn't be greater, it would be fewer still, but the income effect, that's opposite. That part's opposite.
Which
The income effect outweighs the substitution effect. That's
Yes.
wrong, but the opposite is true, and that's what would
Right.
make it correct.
Or
right?
if they put more right here,
Yeah.
that would be correct.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to, oh my gosh, the next one. Well, there's a lot of these. Okay. So Marcy's monopsony. All right, they got wage per hour, quantity of hours supplied. Everyone already found if it's a monopsony, solve for what right away?
So for marginal factor cost of labor.
Solve for the marginal factor cost of labor. So it's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Voila. Okay, monopsony answers. Monopsony employer bakers. The table shows how many hours of labor supplied and provided wages. Marginal revenue product labor is constant 7. Okay, So my marginal revenue product labor is 7. I will hire until the marginal factor cost of labor equals,
7.
it's right here, around $4 and 4 hours. So 4, E it is.
How'd you find that?
Did you solve for your marginal factor cost of labor?
I did
Okay, no big deal. You want me to show you how, or you're like, I got it?
yes, please.
Okay, ready? So marginal factor cost of labor. Remember, that's like the change in total cost of the factor. Or we could just say, all right, what is a marginal factor cost of labor for 1 hour? So I go from 0, I hire 1 worker at $1 an hour. What's my additional cost of hiring that first hour?
$1.
Perfect. That one's easy. But the second one, now I want a second hour. That'll cost me $2 an hour. Okay? So how much more would it cost me to hire 2 hours of labor?
$4.
It would cost me 4. How much more is that than 1? Or I paid this hour 2 plus 1 more for the previous hour. Both ways work. See, both 3. Ready? The third hour, I got to pay $3. So how much more will that cost me? I have to pay $3 for every hour. So it'll cost me $3 for my third hour, but I was paying 2 here, so I'll pay 1 more, and I was paying 2 here again. That'll cost me 1 more. So
6.
3 plus 1 plus 1.
5.
Or I've got to pay $9 to hire 3 hours of labor, but 4 at 2. What's the difference? 9 and 4. What's the difference?
5.
There it is. Is that easy enough?
Yes.
Pick whichever way you want. You can count backwards or do this. Ready? My fourth worker, fourth hour, $4 each. So we can say 16. 16 is how much more than, that's wrong. 16, but it was 9 here. 16 is how much more than 9?
7.
Marginal cost equals marginal revenue. So 4 workers it is. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Or I could go 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 4 plus 3 is 7. Both those work. Okay. Let's do 9 and 11. Ooh, why? Oh, why? So 9, compared to a perfectly competitive labor market, a monopsony labor market, monopsony is hire fewer at lower wages. That's like a question you should expect to see. Any questions on that? That's good. Like have that graph in your mind going, oh, right, it's got to be there. All right, number 11. If the wage rate is $20 per hour and the last worker hired by the firm increased output by 100 units. Okay. Got it. So my margin, okay, I already know what this is going to do, and I'm going to write this one out because I'm already confused. So my marginal product of labor is 100, and I pay them $20. Guys got it? That's the wage rate. But my marginal product of capital over the rental rate, I don't know what that is yet, so let's find out. Rent for computers is $50 an hour. And the last computer rented increased output by 200 units. Guys got it? So, optimal input mix, cost minimization combination, take your pick. What's your firm do to minimize costs? Which one's greater?
Labor.
Labor. Hire more of and or less of. More labor and or less cap. More workers and rent more computers because marginal revenue products of both workers and computers are greater than their respective prices. What's the price of each good?
$50 per.
No. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Okay,
I don't know what the price is.
you don't know, so you can't talk about marginal revenue.
No.
Keep the same number, no. Lay off workers,
So you can
no.
only, okay, so A is
Hire
wrong
more
because
workers,
we don't
reduce the
have-
number of computers rented because marginal product per dollar is higher for workers. That's it. We don't have that marginal revenue product of the wage rate. That rule of one doesn't work here because we don't have the price of the good.
Wait, can you explain why B is right?
B is wrong. You mean?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said B is right. That's why I
No,
was confused.
echo.
E is right. Okay, can you explain that again?
So what's greater? How much output per dollar I have for labor? 4?
That one's greater.
Oh, I'm sorry. 5
4.
and 4. So do more of this?
Yeah.
Less of that?
Yes.
Remember optimal consumption levels?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Sorry.
Okay. And what are we on? 13, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 12. Suppose firms produce product line of output and the marginal product of capital and labor are 10 and 20 respectively. The wage rate and rental rate, so it's an optimal consumption level, right amount. If my capital is 10 and the rental rate's 25, but labor is 20 and the wage rate is 10, well, what should I do? More labor and less capital. That's it. The bigger, always do more of the bigger one and or less of the other. Easy enough? Optimal input mixes. That is a question. All right.
Can you tell that you're not already at the optimal? I know what.
How do you know? Because we don't know the price of the good, so we can't find marginal revenue product over the wage rate. So it's just whichever one's, because it's just marginal product, bigger wins. If it's marginal revenue product over the wage rate or rental rate, then you can find exactly how many more, or if we should do more.
Is that what E is wrong? Because you don't know.
Yeah, because they're not even, you don't stay at current levels. You always balance. If they're equal to each other,
Then you would
Continue.
get the price.
then E would be right. But we don't have the price.
But if they were equal to each other, you would have the price, right?
If the marginal product over the price of the factor for both equal to each other, E is right.
Okay.
Because there's no better option. You're
But in
part of
this
the
case, you don't know, so that's why E is wrong.
Well, in this case, they don't equal each other. So do more of the bigger one.
All right.
Even if we do not know the marginal revenue product of labor, could we still determine if they are at the optimal consumption bundle?
If they're equal to each other, yes.
Okay.
Because if you don't have the price, you can't find marginal revenue, then it's just your marginal product over price.
Okay.
Okay. Which one are we at? 13? Max enjoys both labor and capital per string. Currently, the last unit employed has a marginal product of 100 units. You guys solve this one yourself. It's the same one. Okay, I'll solve it, but
They're equal.
okay. So marginal product is 100 for workers, and you pay them 25. So 100 over 25 is 4. Is 40 over 10, that's 4. They equal each other. So what do you do if they equal each other? Marginal product per
Don't
dollar?
do anything.
You're doing the best you can. Continue doing it. That's it. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any situation where we would increase both?
Only if you have the marginal revenue product.
Oh.
Then if they're both above 1, then do more of both. But none of these have that. And that's a rare question. Okay, so like most of the time, no. All right, let's go through to 16. Okay, good stuff. These are going to get complicated, so know how to calculate it. So, firm can do well using 3 combinations of labor and capital. Table below summarizes the 3 combinations of labor capital, which is true. We want the most output per labor. We want the most output per dollar. Okay, now we're trying to dig how many wells. It's where people find it hard, but it makes the question so simple.
1.
A well, that is how many?
1.
1. So all of this is saying marginal product of 1. So it's essentially, what's the cheapest way to dig a well? All right, 1 skilled operator, 500, 1 backhoe, $3,000. Okay, noted. X cost me 3,000. But Y is 10 skilled workers for 100 each, that's 1,000. Plus 10 shovels, $50 each, that's 500. This is 1,500 for Y. Okay, that's better. Don't do X. And Zulu is 5 unskilled workers. That's 500 and 1 supervisor. So that's 1,500. And then more money, so we don't need Y. Or Y is your winner. It's going to be less.
Why would you hire unskilled workers?
You're digging
Like,
a well.
why would you be a worker if you're
None of that matters in economics.
Okay.
That's all.
Here's the thing.
okay?
I get a well from all these
Yeah.
combinations.
So you just
Which
want the
one
cheapest
should-
price.
Cheapest
Right.
one, yeah. Make the well at the lowest cost. That's the best way to do it. You guys understand?
Yeah.
All right. 16, 17. Oh, cool. Change the numbers. All right. So what is true? So which one is the cheapest?
X and Y.
1,500. This is going to be 1,000. This is 1,500. This is 15 to 1,700. So X and Y are both 1,500. So which one's better?
You can't
They're
choose.
both equally productive or both equally efficient. Pick X or Y. Easy enough?
Mhm.
Questions? But be able to calculate. You're going to see this on things. Maybe different numbers, maybe the same. Who knows? Read carefully. All right, 19. The firm is hiring labor and capital cost minimizing combination. Cool. Which of the following would cause the firm to increase hiring labor and decrease hiring capital? Oh, okay. So this is a good one. So if we have labor, and let's say it's like a 10 output for 10 outputs. So this would be for labor. And then for capital, just for funsies, we're going to go 10 over 10. Marginal product over rental rate, marginal product. Got it? So they're equal. You guys all understand?
Mhm.
We are already at the cost minimizing combination. Now you can scale these, but the ratios need to be the same. So what would cause the firm to increase increase labor and hire less capital? So what would cause this to occur? I know you're like, but they're equal. Well, let's figure it out, okay? So demand for the product being produced increases by 5%. That wouldn't change anything. That would just make your marginal revenue product to increase, but it would work for both of them. So therefore, we wouldn't have a change. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right, the price of capital and labor both increase by 5%. So if the price of this both increase by 5%, what does it do to the ratio?
You
It's
want
the
to
same
hire less.
ratio.
No. It's well, you'd want to employ less of both, but it's saying I want more labor and less capital. I need to make this imbalance. But if I change price of both the same amount,
Then you
still
can't
balance. Okay? So the price of capital and labor, we did that. Productivity of labor increases by 5%. Okay. If labor gets more productive, now that's true. That's your right answer.
How does that decrease the hiring of capital?
Because you always hire more of the more productive good and or less of the less productive good.
So even though the capital didn't change, by comparison, it's decreased.
Right. It's less output per dollar. And which one should you do? More output per dollar, do less of, less output per dollar. That's your rule. So it's the fact that this exists, the greater than, means less of the other. You guys got it? That's your rule. All right. Let's see what we got next. 24 and 25. Skip it. Efficiency wages is a wage rate that is above the equilibrium wage rate, where supply equals demand. All right, equal marginal factor cost of the most efficient worker at the firm. No. Efficient, no.
What problem are you going over?
24.
Okay.
Determined by collective bargaining, no. That's market power. Equal marginal revenue product labor adjusted as to make the structure of comparison more equitable. I don't know what that means. All right. E is above the equilibrium wage. I like where we're going so far, and is paid in order to provide workers an incentive to perform efficiently. Sure. Or stay loyal to the firm or work a little harder. Yeah, that's what it is. To pay above to encourage more work loyalty and whatnot. Just like what we covered in class today. That make sense? Questions? 25. According to the efficiency wage model, all the following are correct except, so what's true about efficiency wages? They reduce unemployment.
They cause.
No, it causes more unemployment. So there it is. That is not true. I'm assuming the rest are. Market failure, yep. Above the equal wage, yep. Reduce worker turnover, yep. Higher pay does that. Efficient wage may increase productivity and worker morale. Yeah, could do that. It cannot do A. That's your wrong answer.
Why does it, cost more unemployment?
So if I have to pay all my workers more money, every worker got more expensive. How many will I hire?
Less.
There it is. I'll hire less. All right. Last page. This is easy stuff. 2 more. All right. 26. Suppose Mike wants to pay efficiency wages, Dell construction of his beach home. So pay them above the equal wage rate. Got it. If the prevailing rate for electricity is $22 per hour, you probably pay which-applying amounts to satisfy efficiency wage concept. More than $22 per hour. That'd be 26. There it is. Why 26?
Because it's more than 2.
More than 22. That's it. That's your only answer to this question. Sound good? And 28, last one. Oh, okay. Nurse willing to work midnight to 8 a.m. shift, graveyard shift, may earn more than she would if she worked 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. because of
Compensation.
its compensating differentials. It's less desirable to work those hours, so you got to pay more money for people to do that. So that's it. All right. I hope that helped everyone. Good luck, and I will see you on that quiz.